Hey, this is a first walk through Figma, and this is Figma.com. So if you go to Figma.com, you can see Figma is a design system that can help you collaborate, make UI UX designs, and prototyping, and a lot of things, inspect and more. So when you see Figma here, these are the designs you can do. You can do UIs for mobile phones, for your websites, and also some graphics. Uh, So what do people say about it? This is Design Manager at Twitter. Figma is fast, files are always up to date. So it has a lot of stuff that you can do. Being able to jump in the same file with someone fills the gap. That's about collaborating and more. You can read this. So if you don't have an account, you can sign up with Google or you can log in. So I have an account. Let me log in. So this is my account. First sign in and save. Okay. So I have some projects here. This was for the mob clinic. It was shared to me by my software development coach. These are the user flows, prototyping in Figma. So these are some of the projects I've done. My profile too. So this is the Figma UI as you see it. When you come here, you can see your username, the community, the basics files. Let's create a new project. So to create a new project, you go to a menu. See here, it's either design file or Figma file. All you want to do, or you create a new team. I won't go into teams right now, but if you need a team or do a team project, you can have it here. Let's create a design file. Oh, so it's loading. So Figma, like most other UI UX design, Sketchy, Adobe XD, this is its layout, and these are the common layouts you see. So here it is the file where you can save file, edit, view, arrange. Then you can add in plugins from the community, integrations, set your own preferences. And this is a brief tour around the UI. This is the move tool. When you see a drop down, there's another element under the scale. This is the frame, slice, the shapes, and place images. Also the pen tool, pencil, the type tool, text tool, the grab tool or hand tool, then commenting. So Figma is browser based. That's why you have this titled untitled, so you can drop it down and say rename. You can either drop it down and say rename, or you can double click on it. So rename it to just, and that's it. Another thing about Figma is, okay, we have the share. This is for sharing with some other person to work on the same project as you. That's the part about collaborating, and you choose if they can view or edit. And also you could publish to the community. That's if you wish to share your work. And that's a brief tour around the Figma layout. So we have pages in Figma. You can create a page here. You can create as many pages as you want, and you could also delete them like this. Oof. Delete page. I don't think they'll be that important. And then you can have assets. The other thing about, let's create a frame. A frame is like the artboard. Those who have seen some of the design systems like Illustrator, you know what artboards are. So a frame is like an artboard. Get some frame there. You can decide where it is, its width, its height, and the shape, whether it's okay. As I was saying, Let me take this back to 0. And this is your frame. So the frame is where you put most of your work. So let me say if you want to create some of the basic shapes, a rectangle, which is this, or you could do the shorthand key, which is R. For an ellipse, you can do O. If you press shift, it will be a circle. Without the shift, it will be any shape you drag it to, either the oval shape or if you like it, a circle. And that's something we can do in Figma. So, and another thing, the rectangle, polygon, ellipse, the star, then you can also place an image. Then we also have the pen tool, the text tool, say this like hello. And another good thing about Figma is that, oh, let's expand this a little bit. Oh, that won't work. So as I was saying, let's get the pen tool. I want to select all of this. Then I want to center it. You could center horizontally, center vertically. So any of that stuff. The okay. Then we have you decide where it should be. That's its width, the height, the X position, the Y position. You could add constraints to the left or to the right. Then text, you could edit the text, make it bold. All this can be done with the text. Take it bigger font size, 100 too big. Let me say 40, still big, 30. Okay, 25. Let me go with 25. If that's big, let's increase its width. And that's it. And then center it horizontally. So circles, ellipse tool is not set at center it horizontally. Let me say and vertically too. So it's in the center. Or by the way, you could select between elements by just clicking on the elements. So this is, we change it. You could change the color, but let me just leave it black. Let me change the color of this. Let me change it to something. Let me change it to black. Then reduce the opacity down to 80. Then you could copy this with Control C, Control Paste. You can, by the way, rename them. Let me rename the first one Shadow. And the second one, let it just be Ellipse. So we select the second one and change its color to something reddish. Then maybe change it and take it a little bit. Oh, sorry. Control Z to undo. I wanted to change its X position and maybe take it a little bit above, just there, and take its opacity to full. That's 100%. All this can be done in Figma, and you have created a simple design there. This is the move tool. You can select around and move some more. That's a design we have created in Figma. So all that can be created in Figma. Another thing about the auto save, you don't need to save because Figma auto saves your work, and that's something I love about it. You never forget to save your work. Then adding shapes, we just added the shapes. You could also get the pen tool, make some shape. I think that will work. You could fill it, give it a bigger stroke. I didn't talk about the stroke. So stroke is here. So it has 1 for 1. Let me increase it to 5. You see it gets bigger. You could change its color, the opacity. You could also add more. If I come back here to the pen tool, which by the way it's also P, I could add more divisions here. Then get the move tool, expand. Now it becomes a rectangle and more. But this is a brief introduction to Figma, so I won't go into deep designs. I'll make follow-up tutorials. The pen tool, I've just shown you what the pen tool can do, and it's incredible stuff. It can do a lot of stuff really. It's one of the, if you have used Photoshop, Illustrator, Sketch, you know that the pen tool is one of the most important tools in design. Not only UI, UX, all over graphic design. And another thing is sharing. So you can share, I already showed you how to share. You can share your Figma file with another person to either view or work with you in collaborating. Then something about the prototyping, I'll show you that in a minute when I go to my project. And then exporting, you could export an image. Let me say I select this, the shadow. I could decide to export it, or I could select all these. Select shadow, shift, vector, and then export it as one image. But also you could save it as a Figma file if you feel like you need the local file. So save a local copy, which will be .figma, and that's it basically for the Figma tour. By the way, you could have many frames as well. You could decide I need a different frame down here and create. Maybe it should be of a different color. Let me go with something yellowish. That's too yellow. Change maybe the grade of yellow. Something like that. Alright. So you could design a lot of stuff with Figma. Something else about Figma. So let me go to one of my projects. This was the portfolio project I made for my, apparently I didn't log in here, sorry. Good thing I saved my password, so let me log in and see. Either did I log in here? Oh, in just a minute, I forgot to talk about the play. The play here, it's presenting your work. So you can choose to present it. Basically, it gives you a viewport to present your work. I was still talking about my profile. This was my profile for when I'm doing my HTML and CSS crash. So the solver cohort at WordPress at AbleState. And this is a user flow. If you know something about the UI UX, you need a user flow. We have the, and this was the how my website was supposed to look on the phones, how my website was supposed to look on the tablets, and then on the desktops and PC larger screens. So this was my UI. This is the low fidelity, the mid fidelity. So I didn't do the high fidelity. I went straight to the mockup, and this was for the prototyping. And I think for, let me first zoom out a little bit. For the big screens, I did go with the low, mid, high, and the mockup. So if I'm to share something with this, I want to show you something little about the, so this is what we just did. You could share your work with people. So I want to show you something about the prototyping. Then something about the comment. You could write comments in Figma. Maybe if you're collaborating, person would know why you did what you did. And maybe even for your own case, sometimes you're back and you're like, what's this? So you can write a comment and say, oh, this is a comment, then post. So the next time you come back, you see this is a comment. Or if you are collaborating, a person will know Charles wrote this comment. Let me reply to him and give him a reply. Oh, I liked your work. Oh, I like this video. And that's all. And if it is done, you could mark it. So prototyping, let me scale this to, oh no, not that, fit. So as you see, this was my user flow. You could see I wanted someone could come from the work session, go to home, about, contact, all that stuff. But the real thing I wanted to show was this. No, I don't want to comment this. And another thing about Figma is that the Figma resources, you to go for some inspiration. There's a lot of good work there. I have my personal work there also. So oh, this is the way you could arrange your work. So these are my phone fidelities, and I have the phone mockup, phone mid, phone low. Uh, these are the different pages and the different frames. As you can see, let me go to the phone mockup with different stuff, the text in it, the images. Oh, so if I go to the phone mockup and see here, as the Figma community, you could see some of the illustrations, the wireframes, anything that works for you, the different design. As I told you, Unity can do any kind of design. So if you want the wireframes, but I'll make a video about wireframes in the future. Hope this will find you well and it will be entertaining. I don't know why it's not working today, but I really wanted to show you some of the prototyping. Prototyping, as you can see, you connect. Let's say when someone clicks on this, it takes you to this, and when someone clicks on this, it takes you back to this. That's simple as that, prototyping. I don't know why. Let me close some of the tags. Oof. Let me go back to my files. So this is a bit of a sketchy. Oh, these are the guys I collaborated with. We joined Meet on my profile because I put it out in the community, and the guys did love it, so worked with them.